Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome. Today I got for you some Age of Empires 4 news. We got a new campaign revealed and 2 new factions revealed and a ton of gameplay to reveal. So we're gonna go over every single one of these things, so stay tuned and let's get on it. We're starting with the campaign reveal. It's the Norman conquest of England. I didn't see anything new regarding gameplay here, but along the fan preview they stated that they're trying harder to tell the history from the books and merging that with the gameplay and the fun. As a history enthusiast, I'm very curious to see how this turns out. They also mentioned they wanted cutscenes and the overall feel of the campaigns to be somewhat like a documentary, giving the players information while they're having fun. I'm very interested to see how this is going to play out. To come along with this reveal, we also got the gameplay you are watching. It's awesome to see new gameplay, but trust me, this is just the beginning. So sit down, leave a like, and join Team A8 today by subscribing to my channel, because it's fun! Let's have a look at the new factions revealed, and to begin with we have the Indians being represented by the Delhi Sultanate. So far we have seen the British and the Mongols, so it's refreshing to see another culture. I'm loving the units, I'm loving the architecture style, and what is this? It's elephants, bro, it's elephants! And we can see at least 2 kinds of elephants, which is pretty good. The next faction shown and confirmed were the Chinese. Also very nice to see such a distinct art style. We got to see some gunpowder units for the first time, and the overall feel for how the faction plays is very similar to the Britons and the Indians. Also excited to test the effectiveness of the arrow launchers. I believe they were calling them the honeycomb launchers or something like that. They're somewhat similar to the Korean hwache, but they're not really one. Anyway, they're the medieval kind of rocket launchers there, so China OP confirmed. Finally, they allowed us to feast on a prolonged in-game fotage session, so I'll just go over some points and then I'll show you the whole thing. I am a merciful god. Disclaimer, I am not a god. The Age of Empires 4 team will guide us through the ages, showing pieces and bits of gameplay with certain factions. So let's just go over the points I mentioned earlier. So first off, we got burning buildings. What it seems is that you can set buildings alight and then they will lose health over time, which is pretty good. It's a nice change from the older Age of Empires 2 where buildings would burn forever. You can hide units now. You can hide units in the forests and lay ambushes for your enemies, which is pretty fun and it sounds really cool, but I don't know how much we're gonna use this really. Then we have siege towers and fighting on walls. You can put the siege tower on the wall and then the men on the siege tower will go into the wall and fight on the walls, which kind of looks cool. It's exactly what a siege tower is for, so that's amazing that it is on the game. Then we have defensive deployables. Defensive deployables can be put in front of archers, at least that's the only place where I've seen them, where the English longbowmen, they can spawn little bits of wooden stakes in front of them, probably to stop cavalry from attacking them from the front, which is a very nice change, but we see very little of it here. It is also nice to see that the Mongols can actually pack their buildings and move somewhere else, and also interesting to see that British peasants seem to be using bows to fight off their enemies, finally. And finally, what I've seen at the end of the video is the Wololo bomb. That's what I'm calling it, because a dude simply converted a bunch of units to his own faction at once. That seems very, very powerful, and maybe it requires a little bit of tweaking. Well, anyway, lastly but most importantly, there is no Portuguese faction so far. So there is no power of the bacalhau, and I think without it, the game won't really be able to succeed. Relic. Slap some bacalhau on it. Anda lá, vá, foda-se. In all seriousness though, I believe that Age of Empires 4 is looking great, especially when it comes to the variation in gameplay between factions and the graphics as well. I'm not 100% sure this is the way to go competitively, since some players will be focusing more on certain factions. So in a tournament setting, if you're playing against player X, you know they will very likely be using faction Y. Or maybe not, and maybe at a certain level every player will be using most factions very, very well. Apart from this, from what I've seen so far, I can say that visually Age of Empires 4 again is looking amazing. I know some people say it's cartoony, but personally I enjoy that. The negatives I can see is that gameplay-wise, for the most part, it plays kind of like Age of Empires 2 from what I've seen so far, and the question is, will the graphics upgrade, the different feel for different factions, new features like the ambushes and the Wololo bomb work for the Age of Empires 2 community? To bring them over. I am not too confident that that's gonna do the trick. Only time will tell, of course, and the game is coming out in the fall of 2021, so later this year, and I guess we'll see it then, if it works or not. Keep watching to the end. I'll leave the uninterrupted cinematic for you, or I mean gameplay footage for you and for your enjoyment. So thank you for the view. Hope you guys enjoyed my beautiful voice. Don't forget to join Team A8 by subscribing, and I'll see you all on the next video. Oh, wait a second. By the way, Portugal, caralho. Tamo lá, bacalhau.
I'm in Portugal, bitch.